welcome to base camp.
Thank
Be
you.
here.
Yeah.
First time?
Yeah.
I think I've been here once or twice before.
For beacons or what?
No, I think Rodney and I were kind of one of these summer workout weekends and kind of rolled by on a ride.
Okay.
And you and Tara happened to be in, and we stopped in and talked to you guys.
Oh, so that's a while ago.
Yeah, it's a while ago.
A couple of years.
Yeah, like 2 or 3 years ago.
Yeah. Well, we bought it in 23.
I think
March of 23.
Yeah.
would have been that year because I think
Probably
that's the
that year.
Yeah, because we were doing the duathlon that year, and so that's why we were up here doing some running and biking.
Mm-hmm. Were you up here prepping for Margie this week?
Yeah.
So what are you doing this year?
Good question. That's the $1 million question right now.
Yeah.
So I defer to Luann. I'm doing whatever Luann's doing.
Luann, what are you doing?
I'm doing the 50
Okay.
run, walk.
50 run walk.
Yeah. I thought we were going to be switching down to the mini Marge with everything. I didn't really get into details with you, but Luann got diagnosed with breast cancer. That was her New Year's Eve present.
This past New Year's Eve?
Yep.
Yeah. New Year's
Yep.
Eve when I got my biopsy.
Yeah. So she basically, you have your meeting with the oncologist and they tell you about what your next year is going to look like. And so I thought, that everything kind of went up in the air and he had to plan on anything. But as she was tolerating all the treatments really well, and it looked like there's going to be a shot to do the mini Marge. And so I want to do it with her. But, now she's doing really well.
So where are we at?
Yeah.
Good?
We're good. We're super good. So I had 24 weeks of chemo and different 12 weeks of one. I used to call it a cocktail. And the second one was another cocktail. Now, the whole thing I called the Big Lebowski because I really liked that movie. So it made me, instead of being cancer, it was like funny to me. So I continued to swim because I'm a swimmer first and foremost. So the whole time throughout all the chemos and I was diagnosed with stage 2 triple negative. So triple negative is more, they don't know what feeds the cancer. So I have to go on this protocol of this 24 weeks and immunotherapy and all this stuff. And you have to, because the immunotherapy, you have to watch your blood work, white blood cells and all this stuff. And so I would just try and keep up with swimming. And some days it sucked. And the closer it was to my infusions or the treatment, it would stink. And then later on in the week, it would get better and I would be okay. So I had signed up before I knew.
Yeah. October.
Yeah. And so I was like, well, we're just going to, and I kept asking all the doctors. And I said, do you think I could do? Do you think I could do? And luckily, I didn't have, as time went on, the chemo did what it was supposed to do. So I had no more mass. So I only had to have a lumpectomy. I didn't have to have a full mastectomy. So I didn't have to go through that healing process.
Yeah.
So that's what made me decide to go, okay, I'm going to stick with it and do it.
So you get the news on New Year's. What's in your head? What's your reaction? Initial reaction?
I'm too pissed.
Yeah.
Pissed first and foremost.
Yeah.
I'll be honest with you, pissed because I can't do. Now I know this whole year is changing.
Yeah.
So pissed, but at the same time going, okay, let's just deal with this and see what it brings. It's just going to be this long drawn out thing. It's a year. It's going to be a year total. And, but not upset because my mother was a cancer survivor. My grandmother had it. And because of me, I had to have the gene test. And that was the one thing that made me worried the most. And I have not the gene. So that made a whole bunch of decisions have to go away. So that was a blessing in disguise that I don't have the gene.
Yeah.
We just have to deal with this and move on.
Tom, what was your reaction? Initial reaction? She tells you what the news is.
Yeah, I think it was a little bit different. So yeah, a little bit pissed. Kind of like winding the clock back a little bit. The year before, Lou Ann's father passed away, then her mother passed away, and then my father passed away.
In a year?
Yeah, less than a
Less
year.
than a year.
So, so in a pretty short period of time, we went from having 3 of our parents alive to none. And so it was just sort of like the next thing. It's like, Jesus. And
So lose your parents and then cancer diagnosis within a year?
yeah, it was almost to the day. Because your mother passed away, when was it?
December 9th.
Yeah, December 9th. And we knew before she got the biopsy, the actual results, it was pretty much a foregone conclusion. And so it was like to a day when her mom passed.
So you said your first reaction was different, a little pissed, but
Yeah, I mean, I felt for her. I'm like, we're going to do whatever we got to do. And with my father, he was sick for a while before he passed. And so I did a lot of doctor's visits with him, learned to talk the medical lingo. I've got a bit of a technical background on that kind of stuff. And so I'm like, all right, we're going to dot every T or every I and cross every T and make sure that we know what's going on. And my job is to keep her between the guardrails. And, but Lou Ann's a really strong person. She really didn't break down. It was more like, all right, let's get, what do we got to do? And so that made it a lot easier for me if I think other women may have had more cries and bigger breakdowns.
how'd you keep it, how'd you keep your focus? How did you keep yourself looking forward and not go that route? Because I think a lot of people do.
Well, I'm going to have to say that I have to blame my mother for part of that. Because she was one tough cookie.
Yeah.
And she had physically, scoliosis, rheumatoid arthritis, all this thing, and lived to be 88. And she had this breast cancer. Now, mind you, I was in college, so I didn't see really what she went through. But she was definitely not one to bitch or complain or do anything like that. So she kind of, I believe that was my little guiding force to kind of go, okay, you just have to do this and go through it. Now, the only thing I want to mention, and I want to make sure, this is very, very important. My doctor looked at my previous mammogram, and there was nothing there. So in 7 months, I got this. So I just want every woman, girl, whatever age you are, catch it early. If you catch it early, it will save your life.
Yeah.
Because that's the first thing my surgeon said to us. She goes, "You're going to live." It's a different story when they tell you that.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a whole different ballgame. So
that's what they told you right out of the gate.
Yeah. We had, and
Helps frame it a little more positively. That's for sure.
Absolutely.
And
that was really, both of us were like,
very reassured,
Got it.
you feel like, all right, and we just got to do the work.
Yeah.
We know the results are going to be a given.
Yeah.
And then also, to the screening thing, kind of a friend of a friend ended up having her very first mammogram. I don't think she was even 40. Nope. And she went in and had it, and she caught it. Hers was even a little bit sooner than
yeah, hers was stage 1. First mammogram ever.
First one ever, just pure luck. Got in the right time. So that's key, real key.
Super key.
So the way you're brought up,
Yes.
mom,
Yes.
right? That sounds like that set a little bit of a tone for you.
Yes.
Just the way you were raised.
Yes. Yeah. Absolutely.
That's interesting.
So
and not surprising.
A little background on the Lou Ann's mom's side of the family. There are a lot of high performers on that side of the family.
Don't worry. It doesn't bite. Hey, can you lower her mic a little bit? Meaning height-wise.
Sure.
Yeah. Tom's is all the way down. Luann's is a little bit up, so I see her eyes over the top of the mic. Yes. Yes. Perfect.
All right.
Yeah, there you go. That way you're right in it.
Get in it.
We're getting
Yeah.
it.
Okay, continue.
So, her grandfather was CEO of a big oil company in Canada, and then also a hockey player. But she's got an uncle that played for the Stanley Cup Blackhawk team from 1963, I think, too, and is in the Hockey Hall of Fame.
There's just a lot of good genes.
Yeah, and her.
Well, genes, but also probably like
Just
toughness is a standard,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Like toughness is the bar that you're having to reach.
Yeah, her that same uncle, when he was in his mid 80s, because he passed away last year, and 5 days later his son passed away. So there's
Really?
yeah,
How old was the son?
his son was in his 50s, but he had physical disabilities, physical and mental disabilities.
But was it a surprise when the son died?
Not to my cousins, not to my aunt and my uncle.
And why not? Because of the
They
health
were
issues?
tight. No, they were tight. So it was kind of
yeah.
that relationship.
Yeah.
And he was going downhill too, kind of the same time his dad was.
Yeah. He was in a group home healthcare kind of facility. He was in a wheelchair and had he was pretty good mentally, right?
Yeah, it was slower. His mental ability wasn't as good as his.
He had a birth defect where they had to take out half his brain.
Yeah.
Yay.
Yeah, and so her uncle and his wife dedicated their life to making his life as normal as possible. And they took him everywhere.
Was it the uncle that passed?
Yeah.
Okay, and then he passes, and 5 days later,
Yep.
the boy passes.
Yeah, they're Smokey and the Bandit.
You know, that's wild. I mean, there's a lot of stories like that,
Yeah.
you know.
Husband and wives. Yeah.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
So, but yeah, she comes from really good stock. I mean, when Luann graduated from high school, she had every swim record on the board. Her name was top to bottom on the board. And so,
This was a long time ago.
yeah. Well, but the last record
He's putting you out there right now.
the last record was taken not that long ago, like 5 or 6 years ago. And the local newspaper called her up. Hey, what do you think?
What did you say? What did you think?
I'm thank God it's gone. She was there way too long.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, wow. Quite the year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, how did you guys, sometimes when you face a year like that, the relationship can really suffer some turbulence. How'd it go for you guys? Did you pull together?
I'll let her comment on that.
Ooh, I'm putting you on the spot, kind
Oh,
of.
look at that.
How'd I do?
I'm going to tell you, if Tom wasn't at my doctor's appointments and there throughout this process, it just would have sucked more
Yeah.
than it did. Mainly, I think we have a good balance because he is so engineer brained and I'm so not. I'm more creative in that, and so him keeping me in line.
I listen to the details.
Yeah. Well, it's a good compliment, good contrast.
And so in that aspect, it was very good. And through the deaths, it was tough. It was tougher, I think, for both of us. As soon as my mom passed, you just, because I was closer to my mom than my dad, but at the same time, it's hard. It's just hard. And so, and then his dad passes, and I have the breakdown at his dad's
When
funeral.
his dad passed.
But it was more about my stuff. So
Luann's mom was she was kind of bedridden for probably the last 2 or 3 years, and for most of that time, maybe even longer than that, she would go down and spend a couple weeks at a time, or at least a week at a time, down in Indiana and take care of her. They eventually got her into a assisted living, but there's a pretty limited amount of help that they give you. So her health would kind of just go up and down. And in between visits, it would start to go down because the level of care wasn't there. And I would go there and prop her up for a while longer.
That's a whole nother conversation we can have.
So, right.
Which part of it?
Healthcare.
Yeah.
Senior healthcare.
Yeah. Well, healthcare's come up on here before when we talked to Kristen and Toby when they were here a month and a half ago, because she's in that healthcare world. And, yeah.
Yeah.
It's a wild one.
You're just better off if you don't need it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say it would be a good goal to have would be to not need it.
Yeah.
And that's watching my mother, who did everything, just roller skate, ice skate, so active, swimmer, diver, watching her decline was what made me go, all right, I'm not going to stop moving. You just can't. And as much as it is, I'm going to learn how to fall well. I'm going to learn how to do everything well so that I can prolong that life. Now, that's me. That's why I swim too, is it's just going to it's a lifelong sport.
Yeah.
So this adventure is primarily because I did the mini and liked it.
Gotcha.
And now,
did the mini last year?
Yeah. And I really liked it. And
the mini, for anybody that doesn't know, is Mini Margie.
Sorry.
The worst kids race in the country.
Right. Yeah. Your kids will hate you.
Your kids will hate you.
Yep. And she did it in the middle of supporting me on the 200 on the out and back run.
Right.
Yeah.
So it sounds like you two, like training, sure, you may train to do like stuff like the Margie, other events, swimming. It sounds like you have sort of a dedication to training for life, as we talk about it, within the organization.
Yeah.
How did your training for life, or your training just in general, how did that carry on while you guys are going through this tumultuous year? How was your training impacted?
That was the hardest part, was getting in training, and especially when I was spending more time at my dad's house.
Did you get training in?
I got training in, but it was nowhere near.
Sure. So talk about it. Like, so it's not the training you're used to doing, I'm sure.
Well, that's when I was conning you into letting me into the out and back. My comment to you was, I'm undertrained. My dad just passed away.
Right.
And but I have heart. So let me in.
Yeah.
But yeah, the thing that really helps is having groups, having friends to ride and run with, and that
having a community.
That's exactly that running community, the riding community, and that's
in my world, the swimming community.
Yeah.
So. And when I was, down in Ohio, because my dad lived a couple hours away, so I'd have to go there and, spend a couple of days or weeks with him, and it's not as conducive a place. But then again, you got Chris Markart. He lives in Genoa, Ohio, which ironically is where my dad was born. Yeah, which is out in the middle of flatland, Ohio, where there's, quote, nothing but cornfields, and that guy works out more than most people you'll know.
Yeah. So you adjust. You must train. You must have adjusted your level of training. Amount of training for good reason. So, did you adjust your expectations accordingly as well?
Well, I don't know that I really had to, because, at my age and my background.
Your age is 60.
Yeah. Yep.
Which you turned at Margie Camp.
Yeah, exactly. With a big cake with an FU on it.
Yeah, big happy fucking birthday.
Yeah, love that.
you Eddie, and
Eddie,
and Vince.
Yeah, Vince the kid. The kid. Didn't he turn like 30 or something? Maybe
25 or something stupid like that.
Yeah. Well, and that forced me to kind of look around the whole group that was sitting around the campfire that night.
Yeah.
And I'm like, how many people, as I look around here, are my age or older? And I'm like, that number's getting way smaller.
Eddie.
Yep, exactly. So there's Eddie. There were a couple other people, and then there's Larry.
Larry.
Oh, right, Larry.
Larry is the standard, man.
Yeah.
He was. He started doing strength training with Kristen and Al.
Right.
And, he's their biggest, he's like, you got to do the strength. And
Yeah.
he was setting up as we pulled in.
Yeah. When he came into the community doing our events, he was not strength training.
Yeah.
It's something that he's picked up, I think, from having been around the community and, working with Kristen and Al through Mudslingers. And then I just think also I think he's in the Train for Life group. He's trained previously with Rob, and just being around it, the influence he's learned, like, yeah, I need to strength train. Yeah. It makes a big fucking difference.
Yeah,
it really does.
The older you get.
Yeah.
Also.
Well, it's more important the older you get.
And that's one thing I was able to do through all the chemo too. I would go and strength train, and I would just have to sit more and wait more for my heart rate to go down, and then.
So you're going through treatment, you're swimming, and you're still able to strength train.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Which
I'm sitting on there going like, okay, because I did some of it with her trainer.
Yeah.
And it's no bullshit, man. He works you hard.
So let's talk about this for a minute, because you lost multiple family members. You're going through chemotherapy. This is stuff that, you're not unique in that. A lot of people will go through that. And that's always like my point is a lot of the really bad stuff that happens in life, we're all dealing with it.
Yeah.
But then the difference is how people react to it, and how they meet the challenge or they fail to meet the challenge, right?
Yeah.
So if you were talking to somebody, if you bumped into somebody and you're talking at the coffee shop or over a beer, and they start telling you a story about, just say it's similar, but they're completely downtrodden and beaten down and really not carrying on, what would your advice be? I'm just curious, because I see people react to these type of circumstances wildly differently. Mm-hmm. And the people who don't rise to the challenge and get crushed by it, they've got all sorts of reasons why.
Yeah, exactly. Mm-hmm. So for me, there's a really long answer to that.
Can we make it short?
Yeah, right. Well, I'm going.
You don't have to.
I'm going to attempt to. So, one of the genetic gifts that I got in the lottery is that alcoholism and addiction is pretty prevalent in my family, and I earned my card, so to speak, and and so I'm a member of AA, and there's a whole 12-step program for how to live my life, but. All that aside, there's some things that I learned, and it's every day is a good day. I decided, because I'm the one that gets to decide. There's what happens, and there's what we decide it means.
Right.
Sometimes things just happen.
Mm-hmm.
They don't mean anything.
Mm-hmm.
What are you going to do about it?
I think most things are that way.
Yeah.
They happen.
Exactly.
They didn't happen for a reason.
And they don't happen to you.
It's a fairy tale we tell ourselves.
Yeah. One of the other things is that, you can spend a lot of time regretting the past and worrying about the future, and just the moment passes you by. Mm-hmm. And that's something we talk about all the time. Mm-hmm. It's like, you got to live in the moment and just do the next right thing. Mm-hmm. Like, it doesn't matter what happened before here, what got you here, how you got here. You can't go back and change it. So it's exactly the way it's supposed to be. Mm-hmm. You're not a time traveler. Mm-hmm. So forget it. Mm-hmm. Take the lessons and move on. And make good decisions going from here.
Yeah. I have to tell you, I have to interrupt. Shock.
Yeah.
When we were running today, and I was dreading going back up, pipe dreams in my head. And he goes, yeah, I just tend to do it only once, Luann. And then I was like, oh.
Yeah, well, I run the hill 3 or 4 times in your head.
So
when you just run it when you get there.
Mm-hmm. And
don't sit there dreading it all the way to it.
Yeah. Right.
And I need that when I'm doing this, because this isn't my primary sport.
Yeah.
In a sense, it's so mentally I need more of that when I'm training for this.
So the mindset's a little less automatic. You mean?
Yeah.
The environment's different.
It's different than swimming. It's way different for me.
Well, yeah, you're not in the water.
Yeah.
Well, most of the time.
Yeah. Can't say you won't be.
What would your advice be?
When somebody, it was very interesting, because I went to the Michigan State swim meet during all this and amongst all this.
Which, by the way, She won her age group during chemo.
So
She won all
Impressive.
Won 6 out of 7 events.
So I had more, what was great about that, and I painted my head. I had one of my swim mates kid paint my head. It was really great. And I had more people coming up to me and talk to me and telling me about their story or their connection to what I was going through. And so, and everybody was really super positive, and then, when you're positive and everybody's positive, it's great. Now you mentioned if somebody's negative to you. So I can't, as much as I would like to, change their thought process. I can't.
Right.
So
they need to.
Yeah, they need to. So even though I will tell them something positive, I will try and change that light and try and go, well, look at this way or look at it that way, and then that's it. I'm not, after that, I'm out because I don't need you to drag me down.
Yeah.
To be honest with you.
Yeah.
So I will do what I can for them, but I can't do you. I got to do me.
Yeah.
So
there's, I don't know if you saw it or not, but I shared a message I got a couple days ago. This is actually a message about the Mass Start Crusher. And this guy, so he's reflecting on an interaction he had with me Sunday at the store in Copper Harbor after the event was over, after everybody had gone home. I bumped into his group at the Jenny, and I hopped out, and of course, as soon as they see me hop out of the truck, they're like, you fucker. But then, everybody's telling their stories and their experience, and there were a couple in the group where, there's a woman in the group that she'd never ridden single track in her life, and then we were throwing them into like 30 miles of some of the more technical single track that Michigan has to offer. And, Rob, who wrote the message to me, he didn't say much, but he's just kind of listening to the whole thing. And I was just genuinely receiving whatever feedback they provided, positive or negative. And toward the end of it, I just kind of smiled and said, well, it's all a matter of perspective. And I just left it at that and walked away. Like, somebody's bitching at me. I'll listen to it. I'm not going to argue with them. I probably will not try to change their mind.
Right.
Because I'm not the one that needs to. Yeah. But anyway, he apparently had like a month to stew on it. And then he sent me a message and he's like, that day when you said those words, it's all a matter of perspective. It was just like, that was the aha. Like, okay, I signed up for an adventure and I got one.
Yeah.
I didn't finish as fast as I wanted to, but I finished. He was mad that he didn't finish as fast as he wanted to. That's an ego problem.
Yeah.
It was just a great message, but it kind of reinforced what we're talking about here. Yeah. It's all about how you end up wanting to look at it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's the way that you talk about it.
Yeah.
And going back to, your situation, it's really interesting when we talk to people and coming into this, for anybody who listens to this podcast, like, I had no idea what we were going to talk about today. So to jump right into some really tough stuff, right? It's like, I had no idea we're going there, but I'm happy to. But it's interesting to hear you reference your mother and the way you were raised as being sort of that fundamental foundation that helped get you through that. And that's then when I look at where we are today with the lack of toughness and the lack of that type of culture and families, it's actually a complete opposite a lot of times, where it's just like a culture of just everybody being a victim to something or to somebody. And it's
looking
like,
for somebody else.
that's a choice.
right.
Yeah.
Right? That's a choice. I mean, sure, somebody's going to come in here, maybe in the chat and be like, and have some exception where, okay, yes, you're a victim.
Right.
But
Still.
even if you are, right?
So
you're going to decide if you're trapped in that room or not forever.
Yeah.
You got to get out, and you're the only one that's going to get yourself out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's fascinating.
Yeah. I mean, again, not to, belabor the point about her mom. I told her mom was absolutely my hero the minute I met her. So here's a lady in her best days that I knew her. Mm-hmm. She couldn't stand upright because her scoliosis was so bad. I mean, like a 90-degree bend in her spine. Arthritis.
90.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
Oh, yeah. I mean, her hips her hips were like that and her spine came out like that. Anyway, and her hands looked like somebody ran over them with a car. Like they were just all disjointed with rheumatoid arthritis.
Right.
She got up at 4:00 in the morning. She somehow put her face on. She had to be made up. She put on false eyelashes, for God's sake. I couldn't imagine, dealing with glue and sticking that on. Get herself all dressed up, go down to the Al's grocery store in LaPorte, Indiana, and meet her girls for coffee, the girls that worked at the grocery store, and then head over to the YMCA and meet all her YMCA workout buddies. And she would be on the treadmill. That I don't know, is that your Ironman shirt from Florida?
Nope.
Oh, that's that one. So Luann did an Ironman in Florida. It was her one and done, and her mom wanted to go, and she could hardly walk. And so what did she do? She was going there, and she was working out on the treadmill, building up so that she could walk around and make it from stop to stop.
What Ironman was that?
The Ironman I did was Ironman Florida.
Gotcha. Yeah. But what's that shirt from?
This one is his shirt.
Actually. It's the
South Africa?
Yeah.
He qualified.
I qualified for that's the 70.3 World Championship. So there's a huge asterisk on that.
Okay, I can't wait for this.
So in my, they have this roll down where they have so many entries for the World Championships, for the full and a half, and based on your place and your age group, they have a couple to give away for that age group. And I was 26th in my age group. And it came to me and they're like, anybody in the 50 to 54 age group, and I went, I can't go that way. And so it passed by. And in the meantime, because they started at the top and come down, I was one of the older guys in the group I was with.
Right.
A bunch of people in the Ann Arbor Tri Club qualified, put their money down and signed up. Well, they had a bunch of spots that were left over. They start at the top again, and they're just like, anybody. And so when it came back down to me, everybody cheers, and I'm like, okay. And it was the best decision I ever made in my life. It was. If you ever have the chance to go to South Africa, it's a beautiful country. I guarantee you, it's not what you think it is. No. Guarantee.
Meaning what?
I thought it was going to be closer to like third world country. I've been to India, been to Mexico City, places like that. I was like, I don't need those kind of places as vacations. They're good social experiments, or just you should know those places exist. But I knew that, didn't need to repeat it. South Africa it's beautiful. We landed in, where did we come into Cape Town?
No.
Yeah, I think it was Cape Town. So we flew into one airport, and then we drove 9 hours to the place where the race was, and we took 2 days to do it. We stayed, and it was like driving across the U.S. There was like every type of terrain. It was like, this looks like New Mexico. It was in Colorado, and then there was these big giant fields, and and
a little bit of California, a little bit of
and we saw penguins. There's like warm weather penguins. So anyway, that was one of those. Sometimes you have to take a risk, or just it's like that.
Sometimes,
yeah, exactly. And that's my I learn. I'm a slow learner and a fast forgetter. So it's taken me to this point.
That's why you keep signing up for our stuff.
Exactly.
So how'd you do?
I did really well. I think I was probably like I normally am in a race, like middle of the pack.
Good.
Yeah.
So you finished.
Yeah, absolutely. It was fun. It was a harder course, but it was fun. Like swimming in the ocean. I think I had my fastest swim ever in a half Ironman because it was in the ocean, and then the waves were pushing us in. You like swam.
Oh, sure. How long did it take total?
I think it was just over like 5.5 hours, like right around 5.5.
5.5 hours. If you take something like that, and then you've done the duathlon, right?
Yeah.
And then you compare it to like the Margie duathlon. What's the contrast?
They're just apples and oranges.
Yeah.
They just are.
Yeah, totally different animals.
Yeah. Because people will ask, they're like, which one was harder? Well, the South Africa was harder you know, because it was shorter and I worked harder at, you know, as I was going. And like I have a bag of stuff that I can meter out, you know, this effort over a given period of time. You have to pour it out harder.
Yep.
And in the duathlon, it's like, okay, man, I'm chilling out. I just got to keep moving.
How long did it take you to do the duathlon?
I think it was like 20 and a half hours, something like that. Yeah.
5 hours, did you say?
It was over. It was like 5:30 or something.
Yeah, verse 20 some.
Yeah. Yeah.
Different worlds.
Different world. So now if you were going to compare my first the where we met was the first Crusher point to point, or the last one that was up in Copper Harbor in 2019.
That's right. I was trying to remember when we met.
Yeah.
That's what it was, Crusher 2019.
Yeah. I mean, we had some interaction, but where we really talked was when I come rolling into Houghton and like the grilled cheese grill was already shut down. You're like, we might have a cold one over there for you, man. Yeah, because that was the year my friend Tom Robert, he's the one that talked me into getting into 906 Adventures. And so we were so uninformed.
Green.
Yeah. And your friend didn't finish, or he did?
No, he's the one that broke 8 ribs and
he got hurt
and lacerated his liver.
Is that the dude that you got?
Yes. Yes.
That's right. It found him on the side of the road?
Well, we were coming down 41, leaving Copper Harbor. We were about 8 or 10 miles out.
Yes.
And I saw Tom. I saw your bike on the side of the road at the blinky light, and I thought, that seems kind of weird.
Yeah.
Like, right on 41.
Right.
So I pulled over, and then he filled me in on his buddy who was a couple miles back. And we drove in a ways. Yeah. And he was gasping, and it wasn't right. So there were some people in the parking lot, there was a cleared area where there was some vehicles parked, and there happened to be a nurse there. Right. We got him over there and said, let's get him in.
It was a classic start to a 906 event.
Oh,
right.
Absolutely.
This is now it's like it's
2.5 hours in.
Barely. Then it was like, holy fuck. Like, I got a guy that he's taken to the hospital, broken this, lacerated that. I'm in Calumet looking at a map, knowing we've got like 150, 180 people on course, not a single fucking dot on the map. Where is everybody? Why are the beacons not working?
The beacons weren't working.
You know?
And
just typical.
My friend Maria, who is solely responsible for getting me to that finish line, albeit 6 hours over the cutoff. She at one point, my beacon actually stopped working even when everybody else's was.
Shocking.
And so she comes to Todd and says, something's wrong. His beacon's not blinking. There's something wrong. We got to do something. And Todd goes, he's fine.
Oh shit! So you said you had no idea what you guys were getting into?
Absolutely not. And
why did he want to do it?
Because it looked like an adventure. He's the I am not the most inspired person, but I grab onto the coattails of a lot of other people that are.
What do you mean you're not the most inspired person?
Yeah, I come from a small town, and I'm sure there's some genetics to it as well. Is like I don't think big. But when other people think big, and I'm like, well, if you can do it, like, let's do it, man. Like,
well, my argument for a long time has been that you're the type of person that we do this stuff for. And you're the type of person, so that's exactly why I've said this is why we get out, we tell our story over and over and over, and you can never stop telling the story because there's a lot of people like you. I think that you're the average person. I'm not saying you're average, but that is the average person who they need to see somebody else that looks like them doing it, right? And we have a wild way of overcomplicating everything.
Yeah.
And it's really as simple as that. Can you bring people together and get them to do shit like this? And then make sure you have a way to deliver this information to other people not doing this shit.
Yeah.
That will inspire them to try.
Yeah. And that's people like me coming home and telling their friends.
Yeah.
You know, like somebody like Rodney. Rodney's just Rodney Palmer.
Mm-hmm.
He's such a great guy. One of the best people I've met in this whole thing. His girlfriend Stacy Carson.
Mm-hmm.
They are such a team. They just do the work.
Yeah.
It's like no complaints. Like Rodney's like, you know, you could. I told Luann this morning, I was like, you can give Rodney a compass and a spoon and send him out, and he'll do the EX, but he'll probably throw the compass away.
It'll piss him off.
Yeah,
it's too high tech.
It's too high tech. And then he'll show up at the finish line. Yeah, well, I just kept moving forward and saw
Right.
those guys, you know.
Yeah.
Find a way. I mean,
Yeah.
it's like,
Good
like
dude.
you said, you know, and he brought it up yesterday. He does concrete work, and
Yeah.
it's a really a really good sort of example of just life in general. Like when you're pouring concrete, that shit's going to get hard. You got to move, man. Like you can't say, "Oh, it's getting hard." You know, like life is getting hard. This is too much work, or it's getting ready to rain. You gotta get it done.
Yeah.
And figure it out.
There was a guy I know, Dave. He was with a company that we had worked with for part of a year. He had one quote that it just makes me crack up. You know, he'd say, we'd be in a situation where a bunch of people are talking and like just way overthinking something, which happens all the time. And Dave looks at him and he's like, yep, let's hurry up and overthink this.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know,
exactly.
And there's so much of that goes on versus if you could just like, and this is probably more how I operate. I'm in a moment. I have the information that is available to me at the time.
Yeah.
I'm making a fucking decision. And I'm not going to sit here and spend a bunch of time with the what ifs.
Yeah.
And if I get down the road and it's like, course adjust, I'll course adjust.
Yeah.
Right?
Those are the learning moments.
Yeah. Just keep her moving.
Do something. So I'm that engineering me and perfectionist. I tend to get analysis paralysis.
Oh, yeah.
And,
brutal.
And I'm like hardwired. I'm a hardwired quitter, man. Like, you know, my
What do you mean by hardwired quitter?
you know, it's sort of like just, I don't know if it's something I learned by the time I was 7 years old or something like that, or if it's just genetic or whatever, but I want to not do. I want to quit as soon as I start, and I'm looking for any reason to stop and whatever. And, you know, as I've gotten older, I've recognized that that's just noise, and that I don't have to listen to it, and I can do the opposite.
Mm-hmm. Well, is it self-sabotage in a way?
Oh yeah, I think so.
Just to get you to not do it?
Do it.
Yeah. Well, the thing about perfection is that it keeps you from going past the starting line, because then there's no judgment.
Yeah.
And it's really fear of judgment, the fear of, you know, what other people think.
What other people think, or, you know, what you think.
Yeah. And, you know, it's perfect until I start, you know, and mess it up. You know, if I don't start and mess it up, then it's still perfect.
So what did you take away from that first experience? You come in, your buddy is out early, you missed cutoff, you weren't ready. Yeah. I mean, on the back end of that, how did all that download and impact you?
I'm going to interrupt on this one.
Go ahead.
Because
Yeah.
I
too
remember
much anyway.
out of all of that, and I wasn't here for it. I couldn't make it. So, but I remember Tom going, I'm never going to not have a plan, meaning knowing where to go, because his buddy is the one that had all the plan of the maps and how we were going to go.
And it was sketchy at best.
At best.
We wouldn't have gotten any of the checkpoints anyway. Trust me.
So that his perfectionist came out for sure when it came to that. So he's become the most prepared Boy Scout, I call it, for every race. And you have to be in some way. You can't, not all of us can be a Rodney as much as I would love to be.
Are you saying that Rodney's not prepared? Like, or he doesn't over prepare?
Doesn't over.
Yeah, he doesn't over prepare, and he doesn't worry about. He's the if whatever happens, we'll figure it out along the way.
Yeah, that's kind of my speed.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
and I think you need both.
Yeah.
Personally.
Yeah.
Yep. Like when he did the Ultra, all of his batteries and all that crap died.
Mm-hmm.
At night, when he's getting ready to do the hardest part of the whole course, or had done part of it, and got in Josh Smith's truck, they threw his stuff on the charger, charged some of his GPS and lights and all that, hopped back out and kept going. Mm-hmm. That's the moment where a lot of people would be like, it's just not meant to be.
Right. Yeah, right. Not meant to be.
Yeah. He just figures it out.
And to this with the conversation, he goes, so what did you ask me this morning when we were hiking?
I don't know. I ask you a lot of things.
If you're not if you're not.
Oh, I was like, if you're not suffering some, game stopping injury, are we going to do this even if we go over time?
Mm-hmm.
And I said yes.
Because I think that's why I was able to finish the 100 the first time. I did beat the cutoff because I just went out there like, I am going to finish this thing. I don't care if it takes me 2 days like it did on the Crusher. Mm-hmm.
I would love a green dot, but if I don't get a green dot, Luann knows she did it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I think that's a great place to come from. I've been promoting that for years, saying we're giving you 25 hours. Why would you go home having left 14 of them on the clock because your feelings got hurt out there?
Yeah.
You paid for 25 hours. Why not use them all?
Yeah.
And I think too, if quitting is an option, you're half quitting half the time. Somehow there's some part that's just looking for the big enough reason.
Let's leave the door cracked.
Yeah. Yeah.
There needs to not be a door.
Yeah. Exactly.
That's kind of when we did the ride around the UP first time and second time. Like
the Adventurous.
Yeah. It was like, there isn't a scenario that exists where this doesn't get done.
Yeah.
And then I feel like that, having that mindset, and I know there's probably people out there that just can't relate to it, but if you can just take that approach, then to your point with finishing the 100 and doing it within the time, I feel like you set yourself free from some things that end up potentially sabotaging you along the way. Mm-hmm. Because you've evacuated any potential outcome but success, period.
Yeah.
So then it's very easy just to focus on what you need to do to get her done.
Yep.
Because nothing else is an option.
I think for me personally, sometimes my mind is my worst enemy.
I think that's the case for everybody.
Yeah.
Exactly.
100%.
I didn't want to speak for everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, it's true.
Yeah.
You said something that was important about the out and back with being undertrained, right? I'm undertrained. I don't have the training, but I have a lot of heart.
Yeah.
There's a lack of heart sometimes out there. Like just that depth. There's something to it. I don't even know how to define it.
It's it's a combination of grit and having some kind of reason. And the difference between doing it and not doing it sometimes is so thin. Mm-hmm. Luann and I were talking about the first time I did the 50, or why I got into the mountain bike side of things, is a friend of a friend did the 50, and after Jackson Park 2, he kind of went out for a little ways, said, I'm done. Mm-hmm. He looked at he said it was going to take him 7 hours. He did the wrong thing, was watching the timing and looking at the estimated finish time.
Oh.
Yeah, so he was watching himself on, so he...
On superior timing.
Right.
You can't trust those numbers at all, trust me.
So anyway, he turns around, 2 miles in, turns around and comes back, and he comes across a couple of people that he passed on the way out, and they're like, hey, what are you doing? He goes, I quit. They're like, us too. They just joined with him. It was like, sometimes the thing that it can take so little to make you quit, but also it's the other side of that razor. You only need one little reason to keep out there, and just hang on to that.
Going back to the superior timing thing with the average times, because it will project your finish time. I don't know how many times I've been at the finish line and it's like early afternoon and some support crew family member is there and they're like, oh my God, he's going to buckle. And I'm like,
He got to the first mat real quick.
Right.
check back with me later.
Yeah. Right. When you see that average mile per hour drop precipitously over the course of the day.
You go from a buckle on superior timing to hoping to get in under 25 hours like that.
Yeah.
That's so funny. People learn that the hard way.
Yeah, that's the first timers.
Never trust the live timing.
Yeah.
I mean, I suppose maybe it gives you a burst of hope for a while.
Yeah.
Oh, that's too funny.
You might be sitting in Nifschbeming for a long time, though.
So what have you been doing to get ready for the 50?
Well, technically, I didn't start training until June 7th. That was my last chemo. And I just had surgery July 29th.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so not even a month.
So
Yeah.
I had 2 weeks of not doing anything for that. So just as any chance I get, I'm on the Potawatomi because down in Ann Arbor, it's the best one. And I just have, with my strength training, I just sit there and try and run up some hills, and then I'm just doing anything I can.
Yeah.
Because it's getting my heart rate is just still really high, so I'm trying to get used to being high. But one thing that's really nice about the trails, it reminds me of swimming a lot, and I know everybody's going, what? It's because we do sets.
Yeah.
So, you're for 50 and then you rest. And then you go to another 50 and you rest, or it's 100 or whatever.
Yep.
That's what the trails are to me. You're climbing, your heart rate gets up, and then you can get down, and my heart rate goes down. So mentally, it's easy for me. Now, there's a whole bunch of other things that are not easy, and that's what we're dealing with. So the training has just been small, 2 miles, 4 miles, 6 miles, 9 miles, just to keep just plugging and trying to do the best I can.
Doing what you can. Have you guys done an event together before?
We've done some triathlon. That's kind of how we met, was out at the pool training for triathlon. And we did at Cedar Point in Sandusky, Ohio. They had a half iron there. And so we did that race together. And but it's, you're not really together.
He just
This
passes
one?
me on the bike.
Do you plan on being together for this?
Yes.
For this 50?
Yep. The whole way. For good or bad.
Bad.
For better or worse?
Exactly.
Do you have a strategy? Are you confident in your ability to collaborate on this Margie 50 run?
Yeah. I mean, it's just like the same thing for the whole thing. It's just don't quit.
Yeah.
I mean, that's how relationships last, right?
Uh-huh.
You can't be married 50 years if you don't make it to 25. If you quit at 23.
Right.
His experience on the 200 is going to help.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
Sure.
I'm going to want to run, and he's going to be like, let's not.
Probably shouldn't do that.
Right.
Yeah.
So his experience is going to be essential on this for me.
Yeah.
So I'm really trying to listen.
There's some.
Are you worried about how fast you finish?
I would like to make the cutoff, but I'm not worried about how fast.
The Jackson Park cutoff? Like
There's two
or the
cutoffs.
over.
That's right.
Yeah, so there's a 2 a.m. Sunday morning cutoff.
Yeah.
You have to get through Jackson Park by that time.
I don't see that being a problem.
Yeah.
We haven't talked about it, so I'm going to say no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would say don't worry about the time.
Yeah. That's.
I was actually thinking about taking the watch off.
Yeah. I mean,
I
don't think that's a terrible thing.
Yeah.
That's why I asked her that question today. Like, what do you want to finish? That just finish this no matter what.
Yeah.
I mean, because that's to me
Yeah,
that's the key to finishing these races under the time is you got to still be. I'm going to finish this no matter what.
Yeah.
And then if it's under the time, then great.
Mm-hmm.
So now that I know that gives me the mindset. I know where I'm at. Like we're going to do it.
Yeah.
We're doing 60 whatever miles it is.
Yeah.
Or 50.
It's 50.
Yeah. 50-ish.
It's a Margie Gessick 50.
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
Right.
You using Roy Kranz's wheel sensor or what?
Exactly.
Yeah, finishing it to the end. Did you see at Crusher how many people we had finish after cutoff this year? The mass start?
Yeah, there were a few.
Yeah. I don't know. I think the number's foggy now. Was it 9-ish?
Yeah.
9 people
Yeah.
at cutoff were still out there. And every one of them stayed out there.
Yeah.
And they came to the finish line and we waited for them. The last Robin had to come to our cabin because we had moved on at that point. But we sent her a message and we're like, well, or no, I told Pete to tell her when she came in and send her over to the cabin so we can talk to her. And then there was a guy out there with his son and nephew, and they came in at like 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
But they did it.
Nice.
Yeah. So it feels like that sort of that mindset and that message seems to be taking hold a little bit.
Yeah.
For people, you know, and it's nice to see because I think for somebody to stay out and finish after they've passed the cutoff to be considered an official finisher, that says something about you, you know, and I think that will definitely benefit you in life going forward if you can stick to something like that.
And I watched him do it.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You did it. At the Crusher, and so I'm like, if he can do it, I can do it. I'm a little silly that way.
Yeah.
And you know, again, to the community part of things, you know, I did the legwork. Like I told you, my friend Maria was the reason I got to the finish line at Crusher. You know, that partly because when Tom fell and broke his ribs, he's like, you got to finish this thing. He's like, promise me you finish this. And, but then Tom and Luann were my crew last year for the Out and Back. But without them, it didn't happen.
Yeah.
It just wouldn't happen. And then I had another friend, Ty Coral. She had a tent at Forestville. So the night it rained, whatever night that was, I got to sleep for 2 hours in her tent. It was like perfect spot, you know, like great timing. And then she met me out on the course, like a couple of different places. So
Ty did?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. The very first night, I'm coming through Ramba and I see lights coming down the road below. I didn't even know was there. So a car comes pulling up slowly. And then all of a sudden it stops and a door opens. I see the interior light turn on. And somebody yells, "Is that Tom Ryan?" Like, what the fuck? Like, who is this? It's like Ty and Mark.
That's funny.
They saw me on the track or were like, give it a shot. She's like, literally, they like just hit the road and found me in the middle of the woods.
Crazy.
Yeah. So those finishes for me, I depended on other people. I know we're unsupported, but the
You're
community
not at all.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not at all.
It was a really good example because when we started, you know, I've said this before that when we started the events and said that you're on your own, we were not kidding.
Yeah.
And we've stuck to that. And the community response has been phenomenal.
Yeah.
But not just the community response here, like the community response at large, you know, the support crews, people coming to, I think it's really been like, you know, when you look at all the different things that we've done, there's been a lot of decisions we've made. You can't say that we're here where we are today because of one decision. It's like thousands of decisions across 11 years. And I think sometimes the most impactful decisions you make are some of the smallest, which you would think would have been the most insignificant decisions, end up being the most important or impactful. That decision to be blatantly out front and say, we're not helping you, you're on your own. You know, maybe we'll see you in Ishpeming, probably not. It's really brought out the best in people. And it is proof that when you give people something to rally around together, that they will.
They will.
Yeah.
They will.
Yeah. And that's, I love that part of the thing. It puts like minds together.
Yeah.
You know, I read or heard someplace that you're the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with.
Yeah, I've heard that before.
And
yeah.
So
that's why I don't want to hang out with him anymore.
hang around with Mark.
Yeah.
We probably negate each other. No, we had a teacher stopped in from Lansing. She met me at an event last week in Lansing, and she brought a friend in. And the friend lives here in Marquette. The friend is a tax assessor, and she's in the Marquette Township volunteer fire department, and then she works with search and rescue. So Megan, all she knew about me in 906 is what she learned about me and us from me speaking at that event. And then she's like, I want to know more. So she reached out because she knew she was coming up. So she came in. She asked her friend to come with, probably his backup.
You never know.
Yeah. But they came in, and it was really interesting because after an hour and a half of talking, the person who lives here in Marquette County was like, yeah, like I've heard your name. I knew of you, what you do, heard of 906, knew that you guys did events, but she's like, I had no idea what you were about.
Right.
The community. She said one of the things that she loved the most that she learned that day, a couple days ago, was that the events are not you two against each other.
Yeah.
But it's you against yourselves, which brings you together.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it definitely resonates. I mean, if you can get people past some of the whatever they consider as the marketing and the hype and the direct messaging and the unapologetic, like, here's what it is. If you don't like it, yeah, we're fine with that, but we're not changing for you. Some people are like, what?
Yeah.
What? You're not going to change that for me?
Right. And there's a lot of that out there, and we get a kick out of it when you kind of are, when it's their first time doing it, and they're just like, you just learn right away it's not for them.
Yes.
It's not.
Yeah. Yes.
Luann works for part-time for a company that puts on local races around Ann Arbor, has for quite a few years.
Yeah.
And so, it's general public consumption type events. Not that there's anything wrong with that.
Right.
But that's why we're kind of driven more towards this.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
When we started having people from Margie text quitter.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah.
Boy, when some people hear that, they're like, you what?
What?
What do you, they have to text you what?
And when I tell people that, they look at me like I have 5 eyes. I'm like,
And then when we started the year, I don't remember what year it was, second, third year. And I told Sam from Superior Timing, I started seeing DNFs show up on the results, as we're kind of getting, our branding is settling in and the ethos and what we're about. And I go over to him, I'm like, what is this DNF shit? I said, those are quitters. I said, you need to change that to #quitter. And he was just like, what? You're going to do that? I'm like, hell yeah, I'm going to do that.
You mean they're not going to get a medal?
yeah.
But I mean, now today, Sam and Superior Timing, they've been with us from the beginning.
They know.
And they just know. And I think it was a little different for them in the beginning because they're used to all of these more, what did you call them? Like general public consumption or general consumption events. I don't think they do a lot of events like ours where they literally have to live with us for a day through the night.
Yeah.
And I think in the beginning it was like, I don't know that they really enjoyed it, but I really feel like they do now.
Yeah.
Or if they don't, they do a great job of faking it,
Yeah.
which I'm also okay with.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes a fuck it is just as good as a yes.
Absolutely. So after the Crusher in 19, what did you do next? Did you come into Margie? Well, no, we would have gone into 2020.
Yeah, so 2020
with COVID.
So I'll be honest with 2020. The EX events came out, and like, this is an opportunity. It's going to be better than before. And I was like, bullshit. I'm like, this is some, half-ass attempt to make this, still happen. And I'm here to tell you, I was really wrong.
Why did you think that?
Because I know how other people operate. I thought.
Meaning what? What other people? Like other events?
Other events. It's sort of like halfway thrown together. It's really not so much about the athlete. It's about hey, I got a business. I'm trying. I make my living off of this.
It's about the business.
Mm-hmm.
the sponsors,
Yeah.
the products.
Yeah.
Continue.
And so I was just like, it just smelled bad at first. And especially the way you talked about it was like, oh, it's better than before. It's enhanced. And I was like, yeah, whatever. And
you hadn't learned yet that when I say it's going to be better, that means hold on.
Yeah, hold on. Yeah. Because, and so a person that I met, so I did the crusher. And then the next year, I told you the friend of the friend that quit after Jackson Park, started Jackson Park 2. One of his buddies was talking all about it and showing pictures of the course, like, oh my God, it's crazy, whatever. And like, want to do it? All right, let's do it. And so he wanted the opportunity to kind of like one up his buddy. And so we both did it and we both finished. And I was like, oh, I love that day. And so then I was hooked. But I met Fred Egge on the course that day. And so we did
2020. Or was that 21?
I think it must have been 20. I don't know.
Which one did you do?
The 50, the crusher, or the Margie 50.
Oh, the Margie 50.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry.
So I can't remember. I think that was the same year that Tom and I tried to do crusher. So that was 19.
Okay.
So I met Fred and Beth.
Yep.
I met Fred. And then we kind of stayed a little bit in contact. And then the next year we did Margie Camp. And that's where I met. Fred and Rodney Palmer and Josh Smith and I were all three in the
crew.
Same, yeah. So we were all in the same group for camp. I think Kevin McBride might have been one of our coaches. And
Greg McBride?
Greg, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I am horrible with names.
That's fine. He won't take offense to it. He's been called worse.
Right. So he was one of our coaches, and Chad Scott was. We had like two Chads and Greg. And,
Chad Scott, the most prepared Margie Gessick quitter.
Oh my God! Yeah, show him what you packed. Yeah, yep. And so I met a fantastic crew of people. Stayed in contact with Fred and have come back and also with Rodney. Met his whole crew with the whole Mohican triple, Chris Holmes.
Yeah.
And so...
he made all new friends.
Yeah. And it's the right kind of friends.
That's what it's all about.
The non-quitting friends.
Yeah.
And figure it out, find a way.
So have they been a positive influence on you?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely, hands down. And, yeah.
Go back to the crusher. You thought it was going to suck.
Yeah.
You thought I was full of shit.
Yep. I thought it was full of shit.
So when did you figure out I wasn't full of shit?
So Fred Egge did the Crusher EX and was like, oh, dude, it was great. Oh my God. And then I was like, damn it, and then so I signed up for Crusher 175 the next year. And then I was like, damn it. Cause that was not what I was trying to recreate the point to point.
Yeah. Cause
I felt like I want my pound of flesh there.
Yes.
Because now I was, smarter.
Yeah.
And the 175 was a good race, but it wasn't what I was after. And so,
Munising 175?
It was from Otter Creek down to
Otter
the
Lake.
Lighthouse.
Yeah. The first one we ran.
One, yeah.
Yeah. Lots of more traditional gravel through the Hiawatha.
Yeah. But then I met Nick Afton.
Yep.
There. And so I got to tell this story too. Since I'm burning bread, I might as well. So me and a buddy are riding along, and we're on the trails, and we're hucking along, and I hear Nick chirps. He's back there chirping and talking to his peeps, like this crew he's with back there, and I'm like, John, we got to hurry the fuck up. I can't be in front of this guy for all day.
I can only imagine what he was chirping about.
So my buddy John was like, dude, this is what I got. And so we end up actually hooking up with him and I think a bunch of the other switchback people out of Grand Rapids.
Okay.
And we hung together the whole day. There was like 2 or 3 single speeders in the mix. And
was Dan Weatherwax in that group?
I think he was.
Probably.
There were 2 Dans, and one of the Dans was Nick's friend. And we had a great time. And I love Nick. Matter of fact, so then last year during the 200, I'm on all that sand on the when you're heading to Ishpeming or to when you're heading from South Trails to Negaunee. And there's all that sand along the highway. He comes riding up with his Mohawk helmet on. He's like, "Hey, asshole!" And then he just biffs right there in the sand. And I was like, Carmen's a bitch.
Funny, he never told me that story.
Yeah, right? Nobody knows
Interesting.
That was awesome. But I saw, and then in at Barry Roubaix, somewhere along the line, I met Gabe Burgess.
Yeah.
And so then...
Shout out to
starts,
Gabe.
Yeah.
He's one of our adventure team leads.
Yeah. And so through other events and meeting people at different stuff, it starts to stitch together that these guys are all part of the Switchback community. You know, they have those community rides and all that stuff. I mean, those guys are just top notch. You know, I was doing the Barry Roubaix 100 and, you know, having a hard time and Gabe's like, "Hey, come on, drive, jump on our wheel. Hey, you want some caffeine gum?" And just chatted with those guys for probably 40 miles and just had a great time. And so, again, like that community just starts having these little spin-offs and it's good stuff.
Have you done the 225 EX yet?
I have not. No. Yeah. So it's something I want to do. Yep.
That will give you your money's worth.
Yeah. Yeah.
Beyond what 2019 did.
Yeah.
It will.
I'm looking forward to something like that.
Because it's funny because when I look back at the crusher routes of the past, 2019 being one of them, even 2020, that the first official EX route, when you look at what that route is now, there's no comparison.
Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah, the current route it's a wild ride.
Is that a mass start or is that a EX?
The EX is... The 225 EX is solo.
Okay.
Or, I mean, you can go out with a person. It's not a mass start.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, I want to do... Go ahead.
Go ahead.
I have a question for you.
Yeah.
What makes you choose the routes that you do choose? Is there a process or is it just... And I probably am leaning more towards Margie, but you can go with all the other stuff too.
Well, I mean, I can touch on... Margie was... The original intent with Margie was... And similarly, also with Polar Roll, because they both started their inaugural year were the same. It was the same year, 2015. Polar Roll was the first one, then Margie. So the initial intent was to showcase the work of the local trail organizations.
Okay.
To string together point-to-point adventures. There was also, like, in my opinion, at that time, there was very much this mindset in Marquette County that, Ramba was this and Marquette was this. They're very different systems. Marquette was seen more as IMBA standard, flowy, machine built. Mind you, this is 2014 or 2015 that I'm talking about. Ramba is this gnarly, impossible to navigate, hand-built rock field. And there was, I feel like in our community at that time, there was, you kind of look, depending on what side of the fence you're on, you're kind of looking over the fence at the other one, like, there wasn't good unity.
Yeah.
So I felt like the events could bridge that issue by including all the systems. So that's why we made them such extensive point-to-point events across the community. Okay. And we just tried to, for Margie, it was, we also wanted to showcase the work of all the trail orgs, point-to-point. We wanted to flip the script because at that time, pretty much everything in Marquette County would run from the west end to the east end, downhill, right? And I'm like, hell no. We're going against the grain. We're going uphill. We'll be the only event in the country that's all uphill from the start to the finish.
Yeah.
And then you got Danny in there, and it's like, let's make sure we link it, and it's just fucking nasty, right? So that's what it was. That was the whole piece with Margie and Polar Roll. Margie's changed through the years, but not as much as Polar Roll, continues to evolve in Crusher because it can't.
Okay.
You know, Margie is literally using the majority of the core of the systems.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So that was that. Now in the Crusher, boy, that has been just like, that's been an adventure figuring the routes out because, you know, when we started it, it was point to point. It was at that time, it was almost like it had like this reputation of being as hard as Margie.
Right.
And I mean, we already had Margie, and I'm like, we already got like the gold standard of doing hard shit.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
You know, do we need another gold standard of doing hard shit? So it's been kind of this ebb and flow, trying to figure out like what's the right niche for that event, because we do, you know, we want our events to be entry points regardless of your background and your experience. So we're always trying to figure out the right mix of difficulty. In 2020, it was an intentional lean in to the year and the pandemic. And it's like, listen, we're going to try to make an event suck as much as the reality we're in, because we got to be tough to get through this. Right.
Yeah.
And Crusher can be your proving ground, which really turned out, yes, to be a proving ground, but I think it turned out to be just therapeutic for people to have something they could do that brought them together.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then we sort of rode that momentum into 21 because it's still kind of in pandemic land. We did allow like 150 people to go from Copper Harbor to Ishpeming. But that was the only sort of mass start element to the Crusher that year. The rest was still all EX. That was the year that we finished everybody on Last Bluff.
Yeah.
I can still hear the swearing and the cursing echoing in the trees and the rocks off of Last Bluff in the nighttime. So funny. So
I had
good.
to drag a 40-pound gravel bike up that son of a bitch. It took me an hour and a half to go 2 miles.
That 2-mile section took so many souls that year. And that, so to your point, you know, like your question in 2020, when we sent everybody over Hogback, it's sometimes we're not just running events. You know, I think sometimes there's a certain part of the community or people out there who are like, it's just this big, you know, ego fest, you know, swing and dick contest. And really it's not. It's really, really not that. But we're sort of experimenting sometimes with changes we make to the event courses to see what sort of reaction people have to them. Initially, the first cruise out, we were just talking to Rodney when you guys came in, right? Mm-hmm. Rodney's crew in 2020 was one of the first groups to do the long Crusher that year. Mm-hmm. So as I went in, and the wives were there waiting for their husbands, and I showed up, and I'm waiting with the wives, and the guys roll in, and Rodney's like, that fucking hogback, what the fuck's that got to do with mountain biking? And I'm like smiling, and I'm like, absolutely fucking nothing. That's the point. Right? So, but there was this reaction like, what the fuck are you sending us over a mountain for in the first mile? It's bullshit. As that summer played out, Mark probably remembers this too. That actually, as people learned what a fucking view it is,
yeah,
then they loved it. That was a high point in mile 1.
Right.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So, but then we come back the next year in 21, and I'm like, all right, what are we going to do this year? Let's fuck them at the end and see how they take that after they've been out there for 10 hours, 15 hours, 30 hours, 40 hours. And I will tell you that our study showed when you fuck them at the end, they're a lot madder.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing, you know. I was thinking if the hardest thing is in the first mile, then everything seems easy after that.
Well, it's like if you throw the initial dick punch in the first mile, they've got 240 miles to forget about it.
Right.
But if they finish on it, they don't forget about it.
That's when I looked at the big 500 when I was looking at the route plan for that. I was like, oh yeah, there it is. Last Bluff.
Now, when we finally went back to mass starts, we went to Munising.
Okay.
Now, the rationale there was We've been over in the Huron Mountain area. We've kind of canvassed that area. A lot of these people have done that. Let's show them a new area, a new part of the UP. And let's create a little bit of separation and difficulty between EX and MS. So people have an option.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So that was the thought. So it's kind of, two-pronged, new area. And if you're not into the EX, or if you've done it and you want to do something different, you can go do this. So we're over there for 3 years. And then after a while, the event's growing. And I have this intuition, like, it's almost like each area you go to a degree, has a shelf life. If you're going to continue to produce memorable experiences, you have to keep changing things.
Mm-hmm.
And we are very limited in what we could do to change things over in that area. We maximize as much as we could of the trails, and probably a radius of 200 miles. So we look to go to Copper Harbor, and that ended up being perfect. And I'll tell you, people did not get the adventure they expected this year. They got the adventure they needed, which is also a trademark 906 thing.
Yeah.
Because a lot of them came in and, they were like, holy fuck, I wasn't ready for that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But so the long answer to your question is, we are always trying to create impactful experiences that can have life-altering impacts on people. And that's not easy, because you can never...
Yeah.
We're never in a state of status quo. Would you agree with that, Mark?
Absolutely.
The status quo is not something we do around here. I would say we've got a board member that he's been around as long as I have. He's the only one on the board that has been. And, he acknowledges that we are challengers of the status quo. And the world needs that right now.
Yeah, because a lot of races or events in general, they're sort of like, their keynote feature is that exactly what you're going to get. It's the same thing year after year after year, same route.
Exactly. You know how to prepare, right?
Makes it easier on the doing it too.
Yeah, like there's lots of elements. I'll tell you logistically from an event operator perspective.
Yeah.
It's a hell of a lot easier.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because even next year when we go to Copper Harbor now for your staff, it will be easier to run the event than it was this year, because we got a lay of the land.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I can't tell you how many things, because it's brand new. It's a huge property, a huge new venue, new area. I don't know that people understand this, but we're constantly challenged too, just to run the event well.
Sure.
Because we're constantly changing stuff up, and you don't know what's going to go wrong until it's going wrong.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
While the event is going. And, just like for you guys, I mean, I think that when you get accustomed to operating in that type of environment where it's just always about unemotional problem solving and just problem solving.
Yeah.
Like, oh, fuck, we got this going on and we need to fix it now. What are we going to do? Yeah. There's no blaming. It's not like, who did that? It's just like, how do we fix that?
Exactly. Yeah.
So anyway, sorry, that was a long-winded answer
that's
to your question.
So do you guys, in terms of the number of people that are repeat athletes or repeat starters versus, new athletes, people that have never done a 906 event or first time they've done Margie or something like that, do you guys clock all those numbers? They kind of like see.
I don't keep any statistics.
That kind of surprises me a little, but it also doesn't.
It's the anti-corporate person in me.
Okay.
Right.
Because so that's exactly because you left corporate because that's where I was like, that would have been something you would have been looking at.
So
there.
it's a careful relationship with measurement. I know that 30% of the people who did Crusher this year are female. Nice. And I know 70% are male. I know that this year it's the largest Crusher we've ever done, aside from the COVID year, And I put an asterisk on COVID because you had no option but to do Crusher. So some people did it just purely because of that.
Yeah.
I think it says something that we have a record year like this year with a month and a half left. Over 700 people have done it this year. And they've got all the options in the world to go do other stuff. But they're coming to do this. Yeah. So it's not that I don't, that I pay attention to the numbers that I think will inform me if what we're doing is working. You know, I'll look at adventure teams. We started at 5 kids. We're at 1,300.
Right.
Something's working.
Something's working.
We have 15 teams right now, youth teams. We're going to launch 2 more new ones next year. We've had year-on-year growth of about 2 teams a year for 3 to 4 years. Something's working. The flip to that is, you know, I got people all the time like, I think I'm the oldest guy that's ever finished the Margie. Can you tell me? Or I think I'm the youngest kid that's ever finished the Margie. Can you tell me? And I'm like, no, I don't care. Yeah. The only thing I care about is if you finished or not. And if you didn't finish last year, did you come back to address your unfinished business?
Yeah, unfinished business.
Right? So it's like, if there's something, here's the way I'll answer it. If there is a number that I think is going to fuel ego or fuel us to start looking at the wrong thing, like profit, I don't look at that. I do not. So it's very intentional what I will look at and what I will not look at.
Yeah.
What I care about and what I don't care about.
Okay.
Yeah. The reason I asked about the repeat customers and, you know, new ones was that it may give you insight into who's coming to do the races. If you're trying to grow, you know, get more people involved, do you want more new people versus repeat guys, or, you know, you want to keep things mixed up so that the people that have done a lot of 906 adventures still see, you know, new stuff and are attracted, but you're trying to just grow anyway. And if the number's going up, then it's going in the right
direction. If the number's going up, it's going in the right direction. You know, I think that it's, I can tell you that I know from just paying attention to who's showing up that there's a lot of returning people and there's a lot of new people and there's some attrition.
Yeah.
And generally I think attrition is good.
Yeah.
I don't think a lot of people want attrition. Like, I'm not one of these people who, I think that corporate falls into this trap that the customer's always right. Right? I want every customer to use my product. I don't want, well, no, I shouldn't say. I would want every customer to come do our events, every person. That'd be great. I would love it because then I think society would be better.
Right, right. They're going to, yeah.
But I am aware that people will not like it. And I'm not going to pander to them and lie to them and try to talk them into coming. I only want people at our events that want to be there.
Yeah.
And if you find out from coming to one you don't want to be there, get the hell out of here.
Yeah.
Go do something else.
Make room for everybody else.
And it just seems to make it cleaner for everybody because the person who found themselves in a place they don't fit, they go find a place they fit. And for us who does fit here and who truly enjoys this and values this, we're not spending all of our time trying to take care of somebody that isn't happy.
Yep.
Yeah.
Which also is a problem in society right now.
Right.
Well, if anybody, you do, I mean, customer service, but the, a lot of times
customer
disservice, but still, if you find in those kind of jobs, you find out really quickly that it's a small number of people that consume a lot of your time.
Yes.
And, because you're trying to make the, because in the corporate world, any business is good business.
Right. All business.
Yeah.
We want it all.
We don't know.
So sometimes you have to let them go.
Yeah. If you take that approach that all business is good business, you're going to accept things that are not good for the business.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we don't want to.
Yeah.
And as a side note, so we're sitting in the doctor's office in my oncologist's office, and this man's got his Margie hat on. And she's looking at him. She goes, "Did you do Margie?"
In a judgmental tone?
Well,
in a questioning tone?
In a questioning tone. And I was like, well, and so come to find out, her husband has failed and done finished some, failed some, and he's doing the duathlon this year.
Is he?
I think he's
And
making
she
a
never
second
comes up
attempt.
here, so I guess I'm going to be his support too.
Why doesn't she come up here?
I said, you're always stuck with the kids.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's probably a big part of it.
Yeah. Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah, they're both doctors too, so
Gotcha.
getting things to line up.
So it wasn't a matter of her thinking it's dumb.
No.
No, I think she thinks her husband's crazy.
Crazy.
Yeah. I hear a lot of that, from men or women, that their significant other, spouse, thinks that they're crazy. Or Mark, I was texting with Mark today or yesterday, one of the last couple of days, because he did the EX 100 this week. And I sent him a text and I'm like, how'd it go? And he filled me in and he's like, oh, hey, by the way, my wife's coming with me for Margie. And I'm like, oh, that's great. And he's like, yeah, she thinks that your events are dumb. And I'm like, well, why does she think that? And well, I won't get into what he said.
Yeah, right.
She thinks that our stuff's dumb. I've heard that before. It's not the first
Well, when
time.
she comes up, she's either going to confirm her suspicions or find out differently.
I don't know. I would think like I think she could still go home thinking it's dumb.
Yeah.
But maybe have a different impression of what it is like to participate in it. And maybe she'll see, though she thinks it's dumb, why Mark and others keep coming back.
I think your mind's eye vision of what you think Margie is or Crusher or any of these events is completely different when you get boots on the ground. And see
When you
what's
get there?
going on. Oh yeah, yeah,
For sure.
absolutely.
And I, because I still think he's dumb. Because when we were hiking this morning, I was like, how in the hell do you ride a bike on this shit?
Yeah.
There's no way. But that's not for me. And
But bikers say the same thing to runners.
yeah, that's true.
I mean, I put a post up through Margie, the public page, a couple days ago, just kind of acknowledging, because I know the runners are they're a small part, percentage wise, within the event, and I just think it's really important that those people know, because we do also limit the categories are capped, so they can't be a larger portion of the event, but what they do is nuts. And I mean, everybody, the majority of the event is biking, and we all think that they're fucking crazy.
Yeah, yeah. I can tell
true.
you that's why the duathlon. I saw the Roy Kranz videos, YouTube videos talking about, oh, you got to do the duathlon. He goes like, when you're wishing you didn't have a bike on you, you're running. And so at Jackson Park, when I got to drop my bike, I was never so happy.
Do you have any messages for Roy? Because we're having dinner with him and his wife tonight. Anything I need to tell him?
Well, he was definitely my inspiration for.
I'm not going to tell him that. His head's going to get bigger.
Nothing good, right? Yeah.
Christ.
Yeah.
You know what? My rule about editing, we need to edit that out. I'm kidding. I will tell him. He'll glow.
Yeah, well, he's what is it, glowworm or something like that?
Something like that, yeah.
His
Glow something. Glow rocks? Glow rock?
yeah, it might be
Yeah.
glowing rock.
Glowing rock. That's what it is. Yeah. Anyway, I am going to see him, and I will tell him what nice fucking things you said about him.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, the duathlon was, I think it was like, I can't say that. I was going to say it was my funnest, the event I thought was the funnest. But the 200 last year was actually the funnest.
Yeah, that's interesting.
But it kind of goes back. I had a great time the whole time. And when I saw you at the start of the 100
Yeah.
at Forestville, man, I was just having a great time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think people that looked at me while I was out there may thought that otherwise.
I think it's great. I love bumping into people when they're in the middle of that event or other events that we're doing. And, they're in what the general public would think is the worst circumstances possible. And you're carrying good energy and you're optimistic and, you're just focused on the task at hand. And you're not bitching at me about, whatever, how we're disserving you. I don't know. I love that part of it. I just love the madness of it.
Yeah. When I was doing the mini at some point in time, I can't remember where or when, but I caught, or a 100-miler runner caught up with me. And so a lot of it, I kind of just stuck with her because I kind of was like, oh, somebody that I can pace. And so all she kept doing was, she was so cute because she go, fucking Todd, blame Todd. And that's all she kept saying. And I was like, okay, we could turn that down a notch because you signed up.
It's funny how that those signs have become just such a thing, you know. And I think it's different for every person, but you know, when we put those signs together, it was like a last minute idea that I had, just laughing in the first Margie when we were getting the arrows and stuff. Yeah. And I'm like, people are gonna I'm thinking to myself, like, people are gonna fucking hate this. We got to put some blame Todd and blame Danny signs out so that they know at the base of this fucking hill who to blame.
Yeah.
You know, it was meant to be just like a poke, you know, to be funny. And
I like the baby Todd is laughing.
Yeah, those signs, those are
like halfway up a hill.
That's from you can thank my wife for that stuff.
Awesome.
Those were her idea.
Those are some of the best.
But isn't it interesting how having like this, it's sort of like a call to action to divert away from, I think it diverts people away from quitting and becoming overly frustrated. And it's like this positive outlet of, oh, fucking Todd, or oh, fucking Danny.
You're like, I'm going to show you. Like,
yes.
You tried to do this.
Yes.
You tried to break me.
Yes.
You're not going to break me.
Yes. It's like you against us.
Mm-hmm.
But in a positive way.
Yeah. And sometimes, you know, it's the common enemy.
Yeah. Common enemy.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's right on the money. Right on the money.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So valid. So perfect. So I want to segue because I want to ask a question, make sure that this gets asked. I'm not going to give details on this, but you recently made a significant contribution to the org.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You wrote to me, you shared some thoughts with me.
Mm-hmm.
But I want to hear in your words why you think what we're doing is important for kids, specifically the kids, because what you provided the contribution for was to benefit the kids, right? Mm-hmm. Why?
Sorry. Sometimes I'm emotional.
It's okay.
I had a decent childhood, so I'll preface it with that. But there was alcoholism in my family, and it affected things. My mom and dad were, you know, together and apart many times. They married each other 3 times. We didn't have a lot of good role models. My Uncle Jerry was a really good one. And I think what you guys do is valuable. I know that I personally would have loved to have what you guys give. And I could have, I try to take coulda, shoulda, woulda out of my language. Mm-hmm. There's just what happened. Mm-hmm. And sometimes you think that if you change the past, it's going to change. You're going to have a better today. There's no guarantees of that. I'm where I'm at because of everything that happened before that.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't change it. But those things would have been so valuable to us. First of all, mountain bikes and all that stuff just didn't exist.
Yeah.
I mean, that part alone is just phenomenal to me. I can't believe that every kid isn't just dying to be on one of these things.
Yeah.
But it's more the community and the ethos, you know, that we talked a little bit about the Stoic philosophy that, you know, I think you embrace. I do to some degree. Just haven't studied it that much, but I know that's where my thinking is along with, and I think everybody can benefit from it. And I think the die is cast by the time kids are out of grade school.
There's no doubt.
Yeah, and
it's not to say you can't change, but
yeah, I think I'm a little bit an example of that.
Yeah.
Like I said, I was a born quitter, and somewhere along the line, with the right combination of influences and other people in my life, I've learned that I don't have to be that way, even though that's my my gut reflex, my first want to do is to back off, hide, whatever. That's my MO. I don't have to do that. I can keep going. And so you show kids grit. Just keep going. Rodney yesterday, he was kind of quoting you because I was having a bit of a meltdown in the woods. And he's like, he opens up the bag. He's like, it's like Todd said when the kids are having a problem. You don't have to say anything. You just give them a gummy and tell them it's okay. So he hands me a nerd cluster and it's like, be all right.
Isn't that interesting, though, that you can use those analogies from Bike Club doing an adult activity? Yeah. And it's all relevant and relative, right?
I think we're all kids walking around in bigger clothes.
Well, my thing has been through this experience, this adventure of 906, that I think, you said we're all kids, and I think that I run into a lot of adults that are broken kids or were broken kids. And my thought is, I can't necessarily undo the life experience that put a lot of people where they are when I'm meeting them for the first time in their 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s. Like, I can have some positive impact for sure. We can have some positive impact for sure, but it's limited. We need to be getting to these kids at 5 years old. That's where we start working with them. So that's what drives me is like to your point, the die gets cast early on.
And I will speak to that because I started competitively swimming when I was 5 years old and continued it my whole entire life and still do today. So, and that again created a community, created everything, friends, lifelong, run into them everywhere. And it's like I'm still there. So I think that is the same concept. It's just at that young age, I had that. And thank God I did. So,
and you had a mom leading by example.
Her mom,
the combination.
Yeah.
Her mom had a temple to Luann in the basement.
I'm an only child.
Oh, boy.
I'm an only child. Let's not go there. Okay.
Okay.
Leave that out.
Her mom,
Oh, she was proud of you.
Yeah,
she was absolutely.
And I bet late in life you were probably an inspiration to her.
Yeah.
I would hope so.
Yeah.
Because
that's how you pay it back, right?
yeah.
And that's the thing I didn't get to thought I didn't get to complete earlier. I got sidetracked. Was about her mom that like she was all bent up with arthritis and scoliosis. Man, she never complained, and just went. She did what she had to do. She did the necessaries, and did what she had to do. And I was like, that lady's my hero. And she was like, she'd go to the store. You go anywhere with her and around town, she's like, oh, Queen Donna, hey, Queen Donna, the YMCA. It's like I love this lady.
Good role model.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just to be surrounded by people with that mindset of not bitching and complaining and meeting whatever challenge it is that presents itself head on with full accountability, right? And just, I'm going to get over this. I'm going to get around this. I'm going to solve this problem. Just being dedicated again, just to finishing, following through. It's a bit of a lost art.
Yeah. And, one of the things, too, is that I've learned in my program is that those kind of things are sometimes, it's a moving target.
Yeah.
I don't live in acceptance and grit all the time. It's like it comes and goes for
sure.
And so.
But your awareness of that's important.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Right. Because that's what allows you to rein it back in.
Yeah. It's that dwell time between shit hitting the fan and me being able to like do something and move on from it.
Yep.
That dwell time in between is shortened down.
Yeah.
Once I've learned that.
In the youth program, what I've seen over time is that when we started, the families and the kids, and I didn't know this until I would get down the road, several years. I'm saying this now, being able to look back from where we are today. I'm not going to say that the families and the kids didn't need us, but I will say that they didn't need us in the way that the kids we're reaching now need us. Because those families were fairly well off. They were already part of the community. They're in a good space. they have strong family support systems. You know, as far as we know, they have a lot of stuff. We were just another thing they had. As we've plowed forward, the demographics of our program has changed. The average family has changed. And I think that that's also true because just the average family makeup has changed in general, right? So some of that might just be driven by that. But there is no doubt when I look at the kids in our field here in Marquette today, and I see the families we're interacting with, these kids need an adventure team. They need a team that's here to not invest. We're not there to invest in them for what they can give us through their performance, right? We're here to give to them, to give them some of those life lessons they're going to need that will equip them for the realities that we fail to tell them about that will inevitably knock on their door someday when mom dies, when dad dies, when the doctor tells you you have cancer. Those are the things that we're trying to help. When we put you in the fire, that's what we're putting you in the fire for. You know, the medals are great. The green dot packages are great. The podiums are great, which we don't have, but other events do. That stuff's all great. But that doesn't necessarily help you when the chips are all in the center of the table and bad shit in life's happening and there's no answer. You know, like going back to the year you guys had, that would have put a lot of people on the mat. But it's very clear that, you know, you guys came through that. It wasn't easy. It was tough. So those are the things that really I'm just very realistic about the world that we're living in.
Yeah.
And the things that we need to provide kids that they don't even know that they need.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, nobody talks about this stuff enough.
Yeah. Well, it's because everybody's buried their face in their phone. Everybody, I think there was some kind of survey, like I think it's over 70% of kids, 19 to 30 say that they're on their phone too much.
Sure.
And, you know, that number's probably really higher.
Yeah.
than
Well,
the ones that would admit it. And, you know, you don't learn about life on that.
no.
Well, it's, you know, the things that I notice are kids, young adults. That young adult does not look at you in the eye. They don't know how to communicate because they've been on that so much. So even sitting down to have this conversation, they wouldn't know.
They would not be able to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. My boys who are in school with those kids, you know, they see that a lot of kids their age have a hard time engaging in conversation, eye contact,
making friends. I'm like,
shaking a hand.
Yeah.
It's just.
Yeah. Brock was in here. He's a brother of one of our volunteers. He's, I think, from Pennsylvania, works for Slippery Rock University. And he had mentioned that some event, basically they were briefed on the kids coming in, the incoming class. Their biggest fear in the world is having to talk on the phone.
Yeah.
Which blows me away.
Yeah.
Because I can't imagine not talking on the phone. It's literally how we run this nonprofit is communication.
Yeah.
You know, anybody who's around me enough will tell you, like, I despise email. I will shortcut everything if I can with a phone call.
Yeah. I'm definitely in that school.
Yeah. Well, some of it from my sales background was.
There you go. You just said it.
If you are this, like, when I was a salesperson, if I'm on the street and I need an answer from a merchandiser about some product that I want to place in an account, I need this. I'm in front of the customer now. I need this answer right now. So if I send an email, guarantee you I'm at the bottom of 500 emails because we're a corporation. We've got hundreds of salespeople. I'm like, and I would try to, you know, tell other salespeople this: get the fuck out of email unless you don't like eating. Yeah. Right? Because we're commissioned, fully commissioned. Pick up the phone, call them. It's probably going to go to voicemail.
Yeah.
Call back, get the operator, and you track that son of a bitch down. Now, if you get them on the phone, you're the immediate problem for them. They have to solve it, right? Because they don't want me calling them repeatedly. So it's just controlling your destiny.
Yeah, and I think that's the closeness that we've kind of lost. Like kids don't know it. Back in the day, the phone rang, you had to pick it up because you didn't know who it was.
Right, right. There was no caller ID.
No way to know. So you had to pick it up and take your chances because it may be the most important call of the day.
Absolutely.
And so life was simpler.
What was your reaction to the sales reference?
Well, I was a sales rep. That's what I retired from.
And that's what I do too.
And,
is it sales?
And I could tell.
Well, then you know what I'm talking about.
There was, to me, in the 5 years that I was in my last job, there was a palpable turnover from...
What time period is this?
So that was 2015 to 2020.
Okay.
I actually retired right before the pandemic.
Okay, 15 to 20, palpable turnover of?
Of the people that would no longer answer their phone at all. And email was kind of sketchy too. Now it's, but now I would say at the end in 2020, I would say fully 50% of my customers didn't even have a greeting on their voicemail anymore. Because basically what I'd learned, it took me a long time, but what I learned was if there's no greeting, it's because they're not going to listen to the message at all. They're like, basically they're going to act like they don't have voicemail.
Interesting.
So if it's not email or text, then it doesn't exist. And it was to me, it was like this generational shift into the workforce. And I watched it happen in real time. And that's when I can't sell in writing. That's not my.
You can't sell what?
I can't sell in writing. I
got you. Okay.
Conversation is the only way I can really talk to a person about.
Well, that's rapport building,
right? Yeah,
that's relationship building.
But it's my mode of communication. Yeah. It's my native mode.
Right.
And in writing, it just doesn't come out the same.
Sure.
And so I just felt like my ability to sell was just, falling through my hand.
Hampered.
Yeah. And I was just like, you know what? I think it's time for the people that deal with that kind of stuff. I'm not a mass email guy.
That's interesting. So I was with Cisco. That was my corporate experience, a majority of it. And I think it was 05 or 06-ish, where our house that we were part of in the UP, it was Grand Rapids. And it was for Grand Rapids for as long as I knew as a kid, because my dad worked for Cisco for 30 years. They switched. For whatever reason, our house became East Wisconsin. So just north of Milwaukee, Jackson, Wisconsin. There was the beginning of this shift. Part of it I thought was just we went to a different house. It's a different philosophy, a different style of management. So we had been raised through Grand Rapids and, just my dad, because he was the guy that ran the show up here. I worked for him. That's why I say we. There was this... we didn't have cell phones, but we had voicemail. So that was actually how you communicated, was you would leave each other voicemails and you'd go into the corporate voicemail and you'd be like, I'd be at a restaurant.
Audix or whatever it was.
Right. Yeah. And so if I'm in Escanaba, before I go to Manistee, I need to hop into voicemail and make sure I don't have any messages. Right. You go in, you got 5 voicemails, you play through it. We would just exchange voicemails. Everything was always lagging in time. But there was this philosophy, largely because my dad created it. We got each other's back. We're going to cover each other. Teamwork, right? You're going to communicate. If you had messages and you didn't get them before you left and then you were dropping the ball, your ass was done, right? There's just this culture of covering each other. Then when we went to East Wisconsin, things were changing. Technology was changing. People were changing. No. You are not going to leave each other voicemails. You're not going to communicate. You're going to do your job. And then they started to silo people. They didn't. They literally did not want salespeople and ops people, drivers, which I worked both sides of the fence. And I'm like, because I've done both and I know both, I'm like, this ain't going to work. This does not work.
Yeah.
You have to communicate. But that was their thing, and that was the change. And then as the communication got stripped away, your camaraderie was stripped away, your cohesive team was stripped away and eroded. And then we started having sort of a purging of senior. What I mean by senior is just experienced salespeople being replaced by young salespeople with no experience, no ability to communicate, a completely different level of sense of urgency. And it was just like this cosmic shift. And that all of that and then some other stuff is what led me to like, I see the writing on the wall. I don't like where this is going. Bye.
Yeah. And you can create your own reality after that.
Right. But yeah, it's interesting to hear from your perspective that there was shifting occurring even beyond that, because mine was a little bit earlier and then yours. Fascinating.
And then to kind of bring it around too, then, with the pandemic, everybody lost that closeness.
Yeah.
It's like now, there's no hand, it's fist bumping or, like nobody, you can kind of tell a little bit about somebody's age by whether or not they handshake.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
Now it's weird. I go into a room and, I'm introducing to people and they're like, hey, how's it going, Tom? Like no hands come out. And you're just like, it's just awkward.
Yeah. It's different for sure.
But, so yeah.
Wild. So Margie's a few weeks away.
Yeah.
It's longer than that.
I'm going to say a few, because you got like a week that you're not going to do much and you're just going to like be ready.
Yeah.
It's just under a month, like we told Rodney.
Yeah.
Just under a month.
It's going to be exciting. I think you guys are going to be just fine. You got 25 hours.
I know.
Yeah.
That's how
What
I
could go
look at
wrong?
it. What could go wrong?
A lot.
Right.
As we've learned sitting
And we'll
at this
figure it
round
out.
table.
A lot could go wrong.
Figure it out. That's why I'll have the spoon.
Yep. A lot could go wrong. And I think the beauty of it is if you go into it knowing that it's less of a problem.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It's if you go in preparing for things to go wrong, then when they do, you're like, yep, kind of saw this coming.
Yeah. I didn't know what it was going to be, but here it is.
Well, we should probably get cruising here. We're getting close to pushing 4. I really appreciate you coming in. I know it was like just total last minute, but
Wow. Yeah. Worked out great.
yeah, I wanted to get you on, just get another perspective. We've been trying to get back up on the flow of the podcast since Crusher, and now we're going to go rolling into Margie and trying to keep her all rolling.
Yeah.
I will see you at the finish line
You will.
in Ishpeming at whatever time you get there.
All right.
All right. Over and out.